Hello and welcome to Nights at the Hobby Table. I'm your host Blake here with my wonderful co-host Obi. How the fuck you doing, brother?
Very good, very good. How are you?
Oh, mate, you know me. Fucking top hole, brother. Top hole.
Top hole.
Take
like-
for that what you will.
Oh.
No, I'm great, dude. I'm good. Good. I'm good. What's been going on?
Oh, dude, I've had a stellar night out yesterday with the missus, so I'm...
Oh, actually, I think you have a story to tell us later too, which I think is quite entertaining.
Yeah.
But first, before we get into all the juicy fun of this episode, I think we should talk about the fact that we are celebrating our first birthday as a podcast,
Hell yeah.
which is insane. I didn't think we'd get past 5 episodes, let alone be, up to a year. That's fucking doesn't feel real.
The missus was like, it's been a year already? What? Yeah, that time's
It's
flying. That's
wild, man.
no, it must have been
so
like 6 months. You're mistaken, right? Nope.
Right? It's wild. And, I think that with that year, we've had a lot of firsts that have happened.
Yeah.
And I think it's a mad time to reflect on that and a lot of our first as hobbyists. Just as a bit of a fun celebration episode. And we have a little something special for our listeners towards the end, so stay tuned for that.
Exactamundo.
Yeah, sweet. So what have you been up to, Obi? Hobby-wise, what's been going on?
Bro,
Talk to me.
I have been working on something for you. It's not built ready yet. The big things are there.
I know there's dinosaurs involved. I saw that. You can't lie to me.
I'm not saying a single word.
You
But
can't lie to me.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a really big mini. It's like bigger than another Redemptor, so
Holy fuck.
yeah. So
We should call him Thickosaurus.
Thickosaurus Rex.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm very excited to see what that is.
Yeah. Besides that, I have started painting Custodes. So there's 10 guys on my desk right now to paint.
What coincidence! I have a heap of custodians on my desk.
Yeah. I've only started doing the base colors because I've been doing a little bits here and there, but it's slow going. It's my first time batch painting again in a long time, so.
Oh, bro, never batch paint. Batch painting sucks.
Well, I got through the gold trim, so it's fine.
Especially something as important as a custodian. Each one should be a work of art from the Emperor himself.
Yeah.
How could you do this to the Emperor's finest?
Yeah, I got Trajan in there too, so I'm gonna put a little bit extra time on that guy, so.
Oh yeah.
It'll be good.
How's your model car going? Just a quick follow up from last episode.
Still in pieces, not painted yet, but soon.
Soon.
Yeah.
I was playing with the wheel on mine and broke the wheel off.
Oh.
So now I have to re-glue stuff. Yeah.
I have, however, been talking to one of our good buddies, Sam, who lives over in Japan.
Oh yes, friend of the show, Mr. Ursatz.
Yeah, been a guest on the show from episode 4.
Yeah, very good friend of the show.
Exactly. So, and we've kind of been doing like a counter deal. Like he ordered some stuff from Europe that I'm gonna send to him, and he will send me a Tamiya kit with like custom wheels. So it'll be cool.
Nice. Sam's unbelievably good value as a person.
Right? Like
I
he
love that dude.
even got me like a gift too, like RWB car that he's going to get Nakai-san to sign for me. So
what?
Yeah, I'm like, mind is blown.
That's cool as hell, man.
Yeah, I hope it works out. So we'll see when that will show up. It's gonna be cool as fuck.
Yeah, wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
Nah, man, Sam's great. I talk to him quite a lot, like outside of the Discord, just like, hey, bro, look at my new fish, or whatever. Like, because he likes fish and cars, and that's just my sort of dude. So,
Yeah, it's cool. It's
but,
cool.
yeah, cool.
Anyway, what have you
Awesome.
been up to in other hobbies?
Haven't painted any Warhammer. I did fix up those custodians, and they're all pretty much ready to go. But I've been working on that. The model car kit I got a bit. I repainted it. Well, like I went over it with a nail buffer, like all the way over, buffed it down, got it shiny, gave it another coat of the red. I think where I'm at, gonna get some Tamiya polishing compound. They actually do it in little tubes. And I'm gonna hit it with that and use my Dremel to polish it.
Oh yeah.
I have a rotary tool, so I'm gonna get it like nice and high gloss, and then I think go again and just see how we go. My other car did arrive, so this one's very much just okay, let's learn how this is done.
Yeah.
It's all a learning curve. I don't expect to step in and be the best fucking model car guy in the world. So
No.
it's,
I think what
it's
you
been
could
fun,
do is, instead of using the rotary tool, I think it would be more than enough to just like take a microfiber cloth and just, rub it, because it's such a small surface area.
Maybe. But I think the guy I was watching on YouTube definitely used the rotary tool.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so been doing that. Other than that, man, general tooling around with fish tank sort of shenanigans. Yeah, I got. Did I talk about the new fish I got last time? I don't remember.
You didn't tell us on the show, but you showed me a picture of it.
On the show. Excellent. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I picked up some for my big cichlid tank that my Oscars were in. I just had that one chocolate cichlid left who's like big chungus. His name's Vulcan. Vulcan lives.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago I bought some strawberry leporinas that I told you guys about. The leporinuses, if you recall.
Yeah.
I got those, but then I went to the fish store the other day and I picked up a fish called a neon blue Akara, who we've named Neptune because he's just this gorgeous blue, like the Neptune, the planet.
Yeah.
And I got these other three fish. They're called Earth Eaters or Geophagus, and they look identical, so we've named them Ed, and Eddie.
I love it.
Which I think is glorious. So, yeah, they're in there, and they've put on, no joke, man, they've been in the 6-foot tank for about a week, and they've put on probably half a centimetre in size. Just because they've gone from, like, little display tanks at the fish store to a 6-foot tank. So they're like, oh, chungus, So, yeah, and it's really good because all of the fish are out and about now.
Yeah.
Big Chungus is still, like, Big Chungus, the chocolate cichlid, he still hides a lot, but that's his personality, but he will actually come out and swim now as well, because the whole tank's like this mad little community, so it's real cool.
Yeah, that's cool fun.
Very happy with it.
Oh,
So, yeah, that's been going on. I'm setting up, I have another spare 4-foot tank that I'm about to set up as, like, a quarantine/hospital tank and that sort of thing, and possibly even a grow out. So, like, if I buy a fish that's a bit too small to go in with the other guys for a little while, they can stay in there for a couple of months till they get a bit bigger, and then they can go in instead of getting smashed and eaten.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, those are sad days when they get eaten.
Yeah, it hasn't happened to me in many, many years.
Yeah.
Like, my fish beat each other up sometimes, and, like, occasionally you'll lose one, especially with the African cichlids, but it's been a very long time since I bought a fish, put it in the tank, and then it was missing the next day. That happened to me back, it was one of my Oscars that happened when I was a younger guy, and one of my friends was like, we need to get this silver shark, the little silver sharks?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think it'll last in that tank. And they're like, no, it'll be fine. So we bought the silver shark. Silver shark didn't make it to the next day. We woke up, it was gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, I told you.
Nobody.
Anyway.
knows.
Yes, that's what I've been up to, man.
Hell yeah.
Lots of busy stuff. Lots of plans, Lots of plans, as always. But it's been my first week back at work, too, so I've sort of just been dealing with the rigors of that. Back to the grind.
Lovely.
As you said, I just gotta remember how much it sucks and move on with it.
Exactly, like being at home is probably like the best thing you can have, I feel like.
Oh,
So
man.
then when you return to work, it's like, oh my lord,
I
why
need an
is
office
everybody
job so I can work from home. Like, just be in my fucking pajamas all day or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, hobbies aside, it was actually my birthday recently too. And I had an epic barbecue, and it was amazing. There is a picture of me actually wearing pants, playing guitar on the Discord. I'll have you know, I have 2 bottles of rum in at that point. Like, I couldn't even hold the guitar, I was that slosh, but there I am, with pants on. It does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
And, it was great. Like, some of the guys from Discord who are, like, my friends in, IRL, they popped in. Like, Mikey bought this brisket. Man, that guy needs to enter professional competitions for cooking brisket. Like, it's unlike anything in this world. You would not believe how good that dude's brisket is.
Yeah, it's a shame that we live so far apart, because it would have been such a rad party to be at.
Bro, man, I didn't even vomit on myself this year. I was very proud.
Oh man,
I've matured since last year.
That would take only like half a bottle of rum for me to vomit. So it's,
well, I was like, nah, I'm just gonna have a nice easy time this year. No one buy me alcohol. So I bought myself one 700ml bottle of rum, because I was like, yeah, I can do that. That's a normal. No, that's not me too slosh. And then who rocks in the door? Big Cam Macca with a 700ml of rum. He's like, here you go, man. And me being me, I get through the first one and I'm like, oh, I'm out of rum. Oh, better go open the next bottle. Of course I fucking did. But it was great. Good feeds. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's nice.
Anyway, that's enough talking from me. Obi, you can say some things.
Yeah, well, it's our podcast birthday. Like, it's pretty much on the spot, like a year ago that we released our first episode, before we like announced it on Lorehammer.
Yeah.
So let's take some time to celebrate our time together. Go over what we've been through. Talk about our first things. Like, we can kick it off.
Because most podcasts don't make it past their 7th episode, do they?
Yeah, it's the break point around 7.
And funnily enough, actually, I remember us having quite a lot of turmoil around episode 7 too.
Yeah.
Like around that period. So
exactly.
We survived that, and we still kick ass.
Yeah, we're pushing on. So let's kick it off with the first one. What was your first hobby, Blake? Let's go.
Like every child, my first hobby was playing video games, man. The Super Nintendo, the Game Boy Color. And I think we had an Atari when I was real little, but I wouldn't say that was a hobby. It was just a thing I was vaguely aware of. I think my hands were still basically potatoes at that point, so I just didn't bother. I was like, oh, pixels go burr. But the Super Nintendo, that was where I really stepped into it.
Yeah.
I mean, same.
I would say there was a couple of different things there. Like, it was around the same area where I started masturbating, so
So I masturbating when you were 6? Holy shit, you're like a jackrabbit.
Oh man, if you only knew how early. Mom, please don't listen to this.
It's okay, my mom listens.
Yeah, no, I think skateboarding would have been my first one.
Okay.
Around 11, something like that. Of course, I had like a Game Boy before as well, but I don't really count gaming as a hobby. So
I count that as a hobby. You were catching Pokemon, mate. That was your hobby.
Yeah. Catching Pokemon
Now,
with this dick.
What was your first hobby that wasn't gaming? You already answered that. That was skateboarding, right?
Yeah, I think skateboarding was definitely one of them. Yeah, definitely skateboarding.
Yeah, fair enough. For me, like, I never got into skateboarding or bike riding at that age as like a hobby side of thing. It was more so a mode of transport, you know? So I was like, I didn't do it because I enjoyed it. In fact, I quite bemoaned it, you know? It's too bright outside, there's lots of creatures to fight off. Scary times in Australia. But mine was actually, I would say, probably fish keeping. Or drawing. Probably drawing first, like, because I used to draw a lot in school. I was really good at drawing Dragon Ball Z characters.
Yeah.
And I can still do them freehand, by the way. You've seen some of my drawings, actually. I'm not too bad still.
Yeah.
For
Fuck,
some practice.
You should do us in Dragon Ball Z style.
I could probably do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. It's going to happen. Yeah, that'd be fun as fuck. Me with like a Super Saiyan beard, like Raditz hair, and you with dreadlocks everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, sick as
That's
fuck.
funny. I'm gonna look like Super Saiyan Yajirobe. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other one, like the first real in-depth hobby that I could say, like, you know, it was like, there's a lot to learn here and get good at. You know, obviously drawing, I was just a kid. All kids draw a little.
Yeah.
But that was my first sort of adultish hobby that cost money was fish keeping. I had a little 2-foot fish tank with you know, a heater and some plants and all that shit, and I had some neon tetras in that bad boy and a couple of other little tetras.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kept them alive for a good like year or two as well. But when we moved house, no one wanted to help me move everything and my fish died, so it was like
okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, it was sort of like, we can't prioritize your little fish tank, man. We got this 4.5-foot tank with Oscars to move and things like that. So it's just like, whatever. And they sort of just didn't make it. So it sucked, but I learnt a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the first hobby I really spent money on, like you said, would actually have been guitar. Because, like, skateboarding, even though I didn't even buy any skateboards myself. I just mooched off my friends. Like, this one's almost done, so I'll just take your board. Thanks.
Okay. Come to think of it, serious question. Does Beyblading count?
Well,
because let me tell you, brother, in school I did not have a Beyblade. Right, I was very poor in school.
Yeah.
And I sort of just managed to get Bionicles.
Yeah.
And then they were like, no, we're into Beyblades now. And I'm like, what the fuck is a Beyblade? And then one of my friends was like, oh, it's okay, you can have one of my bases. And then another one was like, oh, I don't want this weight disc, I just upgraded. And then another friend was like, oh, you know, attack ring. I was like, I built this bastard of a Beyblade. And in my school, you played for keeps. Like, you didn't have to, but a lot of the time, you'd, if you wanted to buy in, you had to put up either a component or a whole Beyblade.
Oh, okay.
Right? That was how we did it. We had these, you know, I don't know if it's happened in Sweden or Belgium, but you know underneath your desk how there's those trays that you have? Where you put your books and stuff, the slidey ones? We call them tidy trays here, but we used to nick one of those and use those for Beyblade fighting at lunchtime.
That's sick.
Yeah. And I basically won a few parts here and there till I got a second Beyblade. And I started actually, like, you know, just going in for keeps and stuff like that. And I won a lot, man. I ended up having, like, one of those large sandwich bags full of Beyblade parts eventually. So, cool. I lost a few too, but mostly I won because I'm like, oh, that guy's Beyblade's a bit shit. I'm going to flog him. Let's go. Just big brain thinking. Fucking young Blake was an entrepreneur.
Well, to be honest, if I'm going back even more, even before skateboarding and everything, I think Pokemon cards would be up there as well.
Yeah,
like
that too, yeah.
Everybody collected Pokemon cards back when they were like 5, 6. So I had like a big stack. I never knew how to
play them back then, though.
No, me neither. I just like looking at the pictures, yeah.
And to this day, still do. Favorite card? Holographic Venusaur base set.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what cards I had anymore, and I know that some cards got stolen back when I got. So
that happened to me too.
Yeah, I never
Someone
got them
stole
back.
my Alakazam, bro. Someone stole my holographic Alakazam.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
shit, but you know, well, it's what it is.
Mikey, my best mate Mikey on the Discord there. right? He was there the day that my Pokemon cards got stolen.
Yeah.
It was basically like we were at a basketball court and some kids were looking through my thing, and I got distracted whenever I did something. And a whole heap of people took a whole heap of stuff. And for ages, I was like, I bet it was Mikey. You know, I straight up accused him of. He's like, no. And then, like, we would have been 20, 23 or something like that. And Mikey's like, oh, by the way, here's your Raichu I stole from you when we were 8.
Oh.
I was like, you son of a bitch. But he still swears to this day it was the only card he stole off me and he returned it, so he made it right. But
yeah,
I still have that card, and the treachery is well recorded.
Yeah. It's one of those things, like, I have a couple of cards now as well, and my kid has a bunch of cards, but I don't have my original ones anymore, so...
I do. I still have the good ones.
Yeah,
I have my Charizard, my Machamps, I have my Venusaur.
No, I got raised more in a way of, like, if you're not using it anymore, or if you don't want it anymore, you pass it on. So...
Yeah.
You know, I had like a whole tub of Legos that I gave to other people as well, and you know, it's stuff that doesn't really come back. So,
see, I was very lucky that even though I wasn't raised by my father, he was always a collector. So Mum always had that mindset as well. Whereas if I said to Mum like, "No, Mum, I want to keep this because like I think it's going to be collectible," she was like, "I understand. Put it somewhere safe. Keep it to the side. Not like let it be junk. If it's junk, it's going, but like." You know, like my old game consoles, I would put them in like big stacking containers and just had them neatly in a cupboard. She didn't mind that. She was like, that's fine, you know?
Yeah.
So I was pretty lucky in that regard.
Yeah, for me it was more, we had a lack of space and we moved around a lot. So like in between all the moves, like stuff get lost and, you know,
Yeah.
So, all right.
Interesting.
So what led you to pick up your very first hobby?
Well, I'm still going to go with fish keeping as my first hobby, because that was the first real, out of nowhere sort of thing. I wasn't doing it because the kids at school were doing it. It was just like, you know, and basically, it was my mum's partner at the time. He got really into it. So, every weekend for us was basically we would go around to all the local different fish stores and look at all these fish.
Yeah.
And that's mad inspiring. Like, I've always liked fish and stuff like that anyway, even prior to that. So it was like, it was really sweet. And he had this 4.5-foot tank with an Oscar and like, you know, he was swapping fish in all the time. He didn't have a clue what he was doing. He was a dickhead, but it was still fun to go. That's actually the tank that my African cichlids are in at the moment.
Oh.
I've still got the tank. It's been re-siliconed. It's everything. I've had it for years. So, yeah, so that was how I sort of got into it, and it was really inspiring for me, you know, like as a young dude. So,
yeah,
take your kids to fish shops is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think for my kid, it's more of like, because I have so many things around, like let them experience some of it. Like my kid recently started playing on guitar a little bit here and there, so I was like, okay. Is there any cool tune that you can think of? And it was like, okay, yeah, I really like the Star Wars theme from Darth Vader. It's like, oh, the Imperial March, okay. So I just quickly Googled how to play it. I tuned this little guitar, like a plastic guitar, tuned it up, showed him how to do it, and he was like, bling, bling, oh, it's really hard. But like he kept at it like more and more, and it's like every time he would pick it up, it would like improve. So it's cool to see how.
So now what you got to do is you got to learn it properly. And show him how to play it through the big amp and do like the doom metal version of it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's cool. Like inspire your kids to try all of the things you have. Like we played Pokemon cards together. I learned how to play with the cards to actually be able to teach him like to play with his cards. Like I introduced him to Pokemon and like Legos and all that stuff. So it's like.
And
it's
I think there's a big difference between ramming something down forcing them to like something as well.
Yeah.
And like just like getting them involved in what you're doing, and some of it rubs off, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said, inspire them. If they have interest, nurture it, rather than like, you're going to play guitar because I said so. Because that's fucking weird and creepy.
Yeah. It's more of a like, if he shows interest for it, like do it. Like I introduced him to Warhammer as well. Like let him paint his own miniatures. So like it went okay. He painted like 2-3 miniatures, and it was like, whatever. I'll just have them on my room.
I think Warhammer's a thing they get into more when they're teenagers.
Yeah.
I think when he's a teenager, he'll be like, yeah, I get it now, you know?
Yeah.
It's got all that mad teenage boy gore and whatnot going on, you know?
Yeah, I think it was more of a thing like the brush control wasn't there, we were just splotching it everywhere, we're just getting angry at it. It was like, it doesn't look good. It was like, it's fine. It's okay. Like, I can help you a little bit with it.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Okay. So, yeah, it's...
that's cool, man.
Yeah, but what led me to pick up my first hobby for myself, I think, like, the real one that I actually spent money on was obviously guitar for me as well. So, my buddy at the time, he played the bass, and he had a friend that played the drums, and we went to a music store together. So me never looked at any instruments before. I've always wanted to play the drums, but I knew that was never feasible. So I just went into the guitar shop. Like, it was a music store with all different kind of things. So we're just looking around, browsing, looking at a few things here and there. And I found this Les Paul model, the Gothic Les Paul, like matte black with a little cross on the 12th fret. And I absolutely loved that guitar. And
was that the Epiphone?
Yeah, an Epiphone.
I have one of those.
Oh, for real? That's cool as fuck. Yeah.
It's in bits and it's sanded down, but I got one.
Oh. Yeah.
It's a project. Give it time.
So that kind of like inspired me to pick up my own, and it was the first summer I started working. So when I got the money in hand, I just straight up went to the first music store and I picked up my guitar. So.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Nice. Now, on to the real question. When did you first pick up Warhammer? And what was your first model?
Warhammer. The Warhammers. I started out just before 9th edition launched, and I bought the Indomitus box together with somebody close to my family. And he got the Marines. I got like a couple of the basic intercessors and the bikers, and the rest he got.
Yeah.
So I gave those Marines to my kids so they could learn to paint, and I could learn to paint on them as well. So my very first painted model is a Eradicator, and it looks really bad, and I'm gonna repaint my Eradicator squad someday just to bring him up to the same level. It's only 4 models, but I'll get through the other ones first, and then I'll start repainting things that I'm not happy with. So yeah, so the Eradicator was my very first finished painted model.
Very nice. Now, I don't remember specifically which model it was for me, but I got into Warhammer when they did the Middle-earth battle games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so basically Lord of the Rings Warhammer, and they did a magazine where it was like a monthly or bi-weekly thing where like you got a model or a pot of paint and that sort of thing. And that was how I found Warhammer, because we were in the Lord of the Rings at the time. So it would have been probably 2004, 2006, I don't fucking know. I would have been grade 8 or 9, so I would have been like 14 years old. Very long time ago. Been hitting the head many times since then, but
only gotten prettier.
But what's that?
Only gotten prettier.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Good genetics. But actually, if memory serves, I think my first model was a Moria Goblin.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, yeah. So, and they were tiny too. So when we went over to 40k, we actually were quite good for new painters, like with no internet as a guide for painting, mind you. Like back then, that wasn't a thing for us. I didn't get the internet until I was 15. So,
same. So,
and it was dial-up.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, it was the absolute worst.
The absolute worst. So it was like, you know, all your internet was being used and downloading a pirated copy of Linkin Park Numb off LimeWire. I didn't have time to look up painting guides. So, but we used to buy the White Dwarf magazine and learn painting tips from that. And there was a How to Paint Citadel Miniatures book you could buy as well that we eventually got amongst my friends.
Yeah.
And we shared it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, oh, I'm starting in the army here, borrow the book, learn. You know?
Yeah, okay. I actually got to borrow that book from the guy I bought the Indomitus box with, and like I was browsing through that book and I was like, these are tips that I've already spent like a month researching YouTube on how to paint miniatures. Like, this is like nothing new, and like it skips so many steps as well. So it felt like the real important information isn't really in there that I needed to progress more with painting. So,
and the thing is too, back then the paint system was completely different
mm.
too. So like, you know, you would like say if you're doing gold and you want it to look burnished, you'd use chestnut ink on top of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? What's an ink? What? Like, we didn't have those in Citadel anymore.
Yeah.
A whole different game. But yeah, so that was it though.
Mm.
Mario Goblin. There you go.
Oh,
I splodged some green on the fucker and I did dry brushing on him for the first time too.
Popped your dry brush cherry. Hell yeah.
That's right, exactly.
Cool. So, what was that first model that felt like you really took yourself up to the next level, you know?
Oh, I can actually post pictures of this too, and I might do in the finished models things just for people to have a good laugh at. Or not laugh, but I did a Slan Mage Priest from the Lizardmen of Fantasy. And I painted him my own colours. I named him Lord Static after like Wayne Static from Static X.
Yeah.
And he's like got a lightning blue belly with dark blue in the eyes, and like, bro, I painted like an eye on a frog that's smaller than my fucking pinky nail. I put so long into that, man. And building it was a fuck because it's die-cast metal and nothing went together. And I didn't know how to pin stuff at the time. And I finished it, and it was my magnum opus, and I had a sleepover party.
Yeah.
Because this is what you did back in the day for my birthday. And one of the kids who I sort of just invited out of the whole, like, oh, he's part of the friend group, and, like, I'm not a big fan of him. He threw a pillow at someone and hit the model and exploded it into 1,000 pieces at my party. Bro, I had to be restrained. I was ready to flog him.
Oh, my lord. Oh, that's
and the fact that I still remember it all this time later shows you how mad I would have been.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll post some pictures afterwards. They're pretty choice, or I'll send them to you.
Yeah.
But yeah. What about you, man? When did you ascend to the first level?
I don't know.
The next level, I should say.
Because, like, the first army I did was Necrons, like a fuck ton of Necrons. And after I did Necrons, I painted the Knights, and I think that is when I really reached another level. Because I started doing LEDs and, like, painting marble effect on things, and I don't know, I felt like that was really a breaking point, even though it was still mostly metallics again, like the Necrons. So when I started painting the Space Marines, I think, I started painting more faces and everything. That's when I think is when it really went skyrocketed.
But I think that you came in at an extraordinarily high level for a beginner. Like, most people start down here. You started pretty mid-tier and above.
Yeah.
You know?
I think like that's mostly...
The work you did on your Knights, most people are lucky to get to that after years of painting.
Yeah.
Right?
I started doing that after 8 months of painting.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I finished 4,000 points of Necrons in the first year already. Like, I pumped them out.
First time I met you, you were busy getting paint stripper or some shit like that in your
Mm.
face from trying to clean nights.
Yeah.
You were just like hunched over, like, "Rrrr."
Yeah.
It's going up in your face. You're like, "Hi, I'm Obi."
Yeah.
Okay, man.
Yeah.
I knew you because you were on LTL.
Mm.
Let's Talk Warhammer. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I know this guy. I've met him before. Or not
Yeah.
met him, but I've heard him before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think because when I started the Knights, I also painted up that Mortarion around the same time as well. I don't remember if you saw me painting it.
yeah, I did. I
Okay,
remember you painting
yeah.
Morty.
Yeah,
That was back when I used to join the Discord every fucking day there,
Yeah.
just hanging out for hours.
yeah, same for me, man. Like I got so many
Yeah.
painting done then. Like I was in the Discord
Yeah.
for like 2 to 3 hours.
When
like,
you had your
painting.
little under the stairs,
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Harry Potter broom cupboard.
Yeah, like I
Fucking
pumped out
hobby
so
area.
much. Yeah, for real. So yeah, I think it's the Space Marine captain from the Indomitus box that really like turned everything around, where I started
Nice.
doing more like shadow work and stuff like that, like intricate highlights, because I never really did that on Necrons. I just dry brushed everything. So
Yeah, understandable though. That's how you do Necrons, really. Like,
basically, like I can show you.
you know what I'd love? I
Yeah.
would love to do Necrons and paint them all like stone, like
yeah.
grey instead of silver, and just make them look like they're made of like rock.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. Or, hear me out. I watched a whole documentary the other day on Lego Bionicles. I'm feeling pretty nostalgic. What if you made them all look like Bionicles?
That would be cool too.
Orange limbs, red face mask, you know?
Yeah, for real.
Someone get on it.
No, I think
Alright.
yeah, that was pretty
So-
pretty much it for me.
Yeah. Alright, now here's one for you. What was your first gaming console? And what game from it had the most impact on you?
Jeez, that's easy, man. Like we talked about it in our Game Boy Color episode. It was a Game Boy Color. I didn't even have the regular Game Boy. So straight up to the Game Boy Color and the Crystal game. Like I spent so many hours on that game. It was a lifetime companion, I would say. So
There you go. We still gotta upgrade your screen on your Game Boy.
yeah, that would be dope, because then I can play Crystal again more in the night. Like that's the only thing stopping me from playing it, because I have to have a night light on the screen to
Yeah.
actually
I
play.
gotta get the hook up so we can do it for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what about you, man?
Nice. So for me, my first console definitely would have been the Super Nintendo. You know, I have a lot of memories of playing Super Mario All Stars. So like the cart with like multiple games on there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing that. I would have been 5 or 6. That's a pretty long ago memory.
Mm.
And I have this weird memory, I don't know why, but I remember it. We were laying on our stomachs playing, and it was me and my older brother and just like one of our family's friends. And we had a mouse run across near the television,
Mm-hmm.
and my brother ripped his hat off and threw it at this fucking mouse and managed to stun it. So we like got it and threw it outside. And I don't know why I remember that, but I just do. It was a weird time. But the other one too that I put a lot of time into, it wasn't anywhere near my first, but it was one that really stuck with me, was Donkey Kong 64. When I got my Nintendo 64, I just remember getting Appetite Destruction by Guns N' Roses for Christmas and Donkey Kong 64. So I had Appetite for Destruction on my little like fucking CD player in my bedroom going while I played Donkey Kong 64 hours and hours and hours. And I just had that ingrained in my memory. Welcome to the Jungle is Welcome to the Jungle levels on Donkey Kong 64 for me.
Yeah, that's one of those memories that sticks with you, man. Like,
Yeah. When they burn in, they burn in, you know?
yeah, for real.
I'll forget where my wallet is 8 times a day, but I'll remember that shit.
Exactly. For real. Cool. So I think gaming is something that we've had a lot of stuff with. But
Yeah, yeah.
I think instruments is something that's had a really good impact for us, both of us as well. So when
Yeah, I think that instruments and music for me is probably my biggest passion.
yeah,
I
yes,
love
music.
Warhammer, I love all these things, but like if you said you have to get rid of all of your hobbies but one, it would have to be my music that stays. Like even above my fish tanks, I love my fish tanks.
Yeah.
But like fish tanks and music are my two most passionate. Everything else sort of just comes after it.
Yeah, for real. Like even hell, I can even give away the instruments itself as long as I could continue listening to music, but because that's you can make music with your fucking fingertips on your phone if you want to. So
I don't think I'll ever sell my Dimebag guitars again. I've sold one once, and I regret it to this day.
Yeah.
You know how it goes? You get into a situation where you're like, oh, I need to sell some stuff. I did. I sold my Cemetery Gates Razorback, and they are impossible to get now. And they're so expensive when you do.
Yeah.
Like, ugh. Yeah, so I don't care. Like, I'll sell a guitar here or there, but not my Dimebag ones. They stay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any real big relationship to my guitars right now. The only one is the Skirvison, the custom one. That's one because it sounds so damn good. I can use it for any genre basically. That's one that's gonna stay. But
we're gonna get you an Ibanez K5 up in your thing, so you have one you can never let us sell.
Yeah, the K7. I mean, that's
it. Sorry, K5. K5 is the base.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a model that I would never sell again if I would get my hands on one again. Yeah. But when did you first pick up an instrument, though?
Ooh, so I would have been 16. And it was I would have been 16, nearly 17, and like I said many times, we didn't come up with much money, but so it wasn't many kids left of the family to buy presents for this one year, and I managed to get my mum and my nan. They bought me a bass starter set. So I started out playing bass guitar. It was just a Magnum. Magnum was the brand, and it came with like a little custom amp. And it was sweet, man. It was sweet as I saved up my little bit of money I had, and I put a custom pickguard on it, so it had like this mad skull and stuff like that. It was like a PJ style bass, so like precision and jazz pickups. And man, I shredded that thing. I had it for years. And started out on that. And then I got my first 6-string, which was a Epiphone Goth Les Paul, which I still have.
So. It's strange how that got me into playing guitar.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever told you them all, and I was like, what?
No.
Yeah.
I got one, man.
I think I was around 15 when I picked up my first guitar, and I went into the local, like we had one local store that sold only Ibanez instruments. So
what a boring store.
What's that?
So what a boring store.
Yeah, well, it was a really like they were more focused on giving lessons than actually being a store.
Yep.
So, and the other music store, they didn't really have much guitar selection, and I think because so many of my idols were playing Ibanez guitars, I also wanted an Ibanez. So my first model was a GSA 60, which the only modifications I did to it was put like a white cross on the lower bottom thing. So like a white cross with tape, basically. It wasn't even paint; it was tape. So yeah,
those teenage years.
Oh yeah, teenage angst.
Modifications.
No, it was cool.
That's cool,
I
man.
loved that instrument. It was really awesome.
Nah, that's awesome, man. I dig that. I think you've always got a special place for your first instrument like that, eh? Like, I'm pissed that I got rid of mine, but...
Yeah, in a way, I'm not angry that I got rid of my first instrument, because it was an entry-level guitar, but there's a little emotional thing attached. But
Yeah.
as I said previously, I'm like raised with the purpose of like, if you're not using it anymore or you don't see the purpose of it, you either sell it and then you buy something that you want with the money. So that's like kind of how I've been able to like try so many different things. Like I've always been of that mindset. Like one time I had to sell it because of monetary reasons, and that's the one I regret. So
I'm hoping one day I find a similar one, or hopefully the same one of my I used to have an Epiphone Thunderbird bass in Alpine White.
Oh, so
man, it was cream. It was brilliant. I bought that just before the got Les Paul. So I had like 2 Epiphones. It was the shit, and yeah, I found the amp that I sold it with a few months back. It was an orange amp, like an Orange Crush 30, so like the 30-watt bass amp.
Yeah.
And on the corners of the cabinet, where they were black, they were all scuffed up. So I took them off, sanded them down, and painted them a copper color and put them back on. And I was on Marketplace, and I saw this amp with exactly that. No one else was painting those copper. And so I messaged the guy, I'm like, dude, did this come with a bass? Like, and he's like, oh, no, I bought it from a music shop used a few years ago. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, was there a white bass there? Did you buy it? He's like, nah. I'm like, damn it, man. So the search continues. Yeah. It's in someone's closet, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
If you listen to this podcast and you have my Epiphone Thunderbird, please contact me.
Oh, yeah. So music has been playing instruments, but music itself, where did we start there? Like, one that I want to squeeze in is, what was the first album you got, and what was the first influential album you got?
Oh, like as in I owned personally?
Yeah, like the very first CD or tape, whatever you started out with.
Oh, fuck. I think it was Linkin Park Hybrid Theory.
Oh, the good
like
one.
The actual CD. Because I'd gotten a CD player and I got that with it.
Oh, yeah.
And pretty soon after that, back when you could buy CD singles, my older brother got sick of me asking him to play a song, so he actually went out and bought me the single for Toxicity by System of a Down.
Oh, yeah.
When I was like 11 odd, and I played that motherfucker like crazy, and it's Rory's fault that I got back into metal as a kid, so... Because I was raised on it, and then I sort of, you got to be a bit gangstery when you're young, because that's what was cool in the 90s. And then System of a Down, you need to be straight back in, so...
Cool. Yeah, I think the first album that I got, not bought, but I got it, was a Five album, like the boy band.
Oh, yuck! Oh, I don't think we can be friends anymore, man.
Look, it got disposed of really fast. And the first...
It's in your car, isn't it? It's in the Volvo.
No, fuck no. It's the first influential album is Slipknot Iowa that I got as a Christmas present from a family member.
Oh.
Yeah, and like listening at it the first times, I was like, this is just garbage. I can't hear anything. And like, then I got more into like Korn and stuff like that, and then I just recycled back to Slipknot. I was like, oh fuck, this is dope as hell. I get it now. I get it.
I didn't get Slipknot until I was in my late teens. So,
Yeah.
I was already cranking Limp Bizkit and all that new metal shit well before then.
Exactly. Yeah. I think especially Iowa, because it was so extreme. That was.
I remember actually going to my mum when I was younger, because it was like, you didn't have much money for CDs and things like that. So I had those CDs, and I was like, Mum, what do you have? And she was like, oh, I still have 1 or 2 Pantera CDs. Like,
there we go.
And that's when shit got real. And then Dimebag died not too long after that. So
yeah.
I remember reading it in the newspaper
and weeping.
Yeah, I was devastated. Actually, my mum came in with the newspaper. and I think we were painting Warhammer at the time. So 2004, yeah, end of 2004 lines up. But either way, me and Justin were in my bedroom listening to music and doing whatever, either painting Warhammer, or playing Gran Turismo. And she came in and we were like, "What? No!" You know, Justin didn't know who Dimebag was, but I was very upset.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So the first concert you went to then?
First concert I went to was Iron Maiden.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been 17 or 16. And we had like seated seats at the entertainment center. It was when they were doing their Somewhere Back in Time tour, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was pretty cool. It was basically all their greatest hits. It was a really good time. And then we bought tickets to our first mosh pit not long after that, which was Ozzy Osbourne. So my first two concerts were Maiden and Ozzy.
Oh, that's
I was front row for Ozzy. It was pretty amazing.
That's awesome. I don't even remember my first concert. Cause I got so fucking wasted and I never even made it to the concert, so
Oh no!
Yeah.
Who was it? I bet it was Five, wasn't it?
No fucking clue, dude. Like it was a local like festival thingy, and that was kind of the thing. Like we started doing festivals, and then we'd always stay the night in a tent, and then we'd go watch the day after again too.
Oh, was that time you drank way too much of that beer you guys had in Belgium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the cherry beer basically got me. Robbed me of my first concert. Yeah, dude. But I don't even remember the first ones that I went to see, to be honest. It's so long ago. So
it's sad, man, because there's such a good metal scene over there in Europe too.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Everyone goes through those places, you know.
Yeah, there was a lot of local bands that we went to see. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah, but
on that subject, have you ever sustained an injury at a concert? What was your first fucking injury you got? And what happened?
That one,
and how funny was it?
That one I do remember. It was Korpiklani. I don't know if you know that.
Oh yeah, I know Korpiklani. Vodka! Yeah.
It was the time that I started stretching my ear. And I had like a really big wooden loop in it, up to 10 millimeters, and I just put it in like a couple of days before we went to the concert. And a mosh pit started out straight out in front of me. And this dude with really long hair got pushed into me, swung his hair towards me, and when he moved away, he yanked at my ear. So it didn't pull it out or it didn't rip or anything, but like it hurt a lot when he pulled it away. And then he, like, after, you know, how metalheads are, like, because he noticed that I fell with him when he went forward again. He noticed, so after he did like another round, he came back to me and was like, "Oh, are you okay? Are you okay?" So I was like, "Yeah, you know how metalheads are."
What
like,
a cool guy.
Yeah, it's like, "No, it's fine, it's okay. It's my ear. It hurt a little, but it's okay. It's no blood or anything, so it's good."
Oh, that's funny. So for me, we were at it was a really good gig. It was Lamb of God, Shadows Fall, and Devil Driver all in the same concert. Yeah, good bill. And so Shadows Fall played first, then it was Devil Driver, then it was Lamb of God. And survived Shadows Fall, no worries. There's actually a picture of this. This is like 13, 14 years ago.
Mm.
There's a picture of me and Justin. Justin's got like these short little dreadlocks. And I've just got like sideburns and like long hair. We're sitting in the gutter in the heat. Anyway, we made friends with pretty much everyone in the line because we lined up for ages. And I met my friend Kat there and another chick called Debbie that I'm friends with. We haven't hung out in ages, but whatever. We're friends. And that was the first time I met them. And we're on the barrier, so I got Justin this side, and I got Kat and Demi here, like, you know, and I'm like just the big chungus, like looking after everyone. And But one of the girls, she needed to get out, so I helped her over the barrier. And then Kat bailed out as well. And I was on the barrier, and people were crowd surfing heaps.
Mm.
And I was like, man, fuck off. Like, I keep getting kicked in the back of the head with these big old metalhead boots. And so the next time I saw the security guard stand up to grab one of the guys, I thought, I'll duck down, right? Smart move. Don't get kicked. But as I ducked down, this guy placed his hand on the back of my head just by, bad luck.
Yeah.
And my nose went, my head went forward and my nose hit the barrier. It wasn't great. I immediately went like, holy fuck. That is not good. I think my nose is broken. So I jumped out of the pit and went up. And that place has like a hill that tapers down to the mosh pit. It's a river stage. And so I found the girls and I was like, okay, look, here's money. Go get us some Gatorade. And they're like, your nose. I'm like, I fucking know. And they're like, oh my god, it's not where it's supposed to be. I'm like, I know. Just get me some Gatorade. So they come back. I'm like, alright. And I fucking grab my nose and I smush it back to where I think it's supposed to be.
Oh.
Blood just starts pissing out of my face. And I'm like, alright, had a bit of a spit, gargle some Gatorade, smash it down. And then it sort of just dried on my face a little. I'm like, alright, I'm going back in, girls. Fucking back in the pit, dude. Broken nose and everything.
Jesus.
And yeah, I enjoyed the rest of the set. I was still in the pit when Lamb of God came on, so...
That's amazing. Jesus Christ.
So, it was a big one.
Yeah, that's intense. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I met my friend Kat. Broken nose and all that day.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my story.
Well, yours is better than mine, that's for sure.
Well, we've all been there.
Yeah.
Alright, bit of a change up of subjects. Yeah, we love our music, but we can't talk about it the whole time because people will get very sad if we only talk about music here. So, the question is, what was the first pet you had that required an enclosure? As in, it had the decorating side of it, and that more than just a cat or a dog or a goldfish and a bowl.
Shit.
Sort of thing. Nah. So, what did you have?
Well, if goldfish don't count, it was a mouse. I had a little mouse as a pet.
Goldfish do count if they're not in a bowl. If they're in a bowl, it's animal abuse, and I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, okay. I moved the goldfish to the toilet after, so...
I wonder why it died, because it was in a bowl.
Yeah, it was a different bowl.
Toilet bowl.
Yeah, a little mouse that I had for about 2 years, I think. And since in Belgium we didn't have the best living quality, it went into hibernation. And I was so scared that it died then. So I had it in my hands, and then I gave it to my mom to heat up. Because we only have one heater in that house then, and that one was in the living room. So she heated that one. She heated the mouse back up to being awake, and then she went on to live another year. So
till the next winter.
Yeah, I think she died before the winter, because it would always be pretty cold in the room anyway. So yeah, I think it was around the time that we got a cat, and I got the great idea of putting my mouse in the a rolling ball, putting it on the floor, and then my cat came by. So I was like, yeah, this is not a good idea.
Stressed it out.
Yeah.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I've already spoken about the little neon Tetris I had.
Yeah.
But I think the first real one that I had was when I got my first Oscar as a kid, as a teenager. So picture this, right? I lived in the downstairs of a 2-story house, and I had a massive amount of room. I basically had my own lounge room.
Yeah.
With a small room off to the side. So I had a lounge, TV, that. And I had a table to drink around for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had fish tanks all around it.
Oh.
So I had a 4.5 foot, a 3 foot, and then a 4x2. Sorry, no, a 4x3 that I just got given. So it was sort of almost a cube.
Yeah.
And basically, I got this Oscar. I had him in there, and I had him with another Oscar. They just started beating each other up. So I was like, fuck me. Okay, so I got that free tank, put him in there. And yeah, I had a room full of fish when I was a teenager. We just used to do shots and watch the fish swim and eat live crayfish and stuff.
That's cool.
So it was cool. It was a good time. Definitely probably the reason I like Oscars so much was those experiences I had with them back then.
Yeah, fair enough. So, is there any pet that needs an enclosure that you would like to get sometime in your lifetime, but you don't really have the means to do it right now?
Yeah, look, there's plenty of things I'd love to have. I'd love to have an indoor pond, which when I buy a house one day, I think we're going to do that. I want to get a 2-story house with the upstairs, downstairs again, and basically do an indoor pond. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed koi fish in Queensland, because they're noxious fish because they're carp. But that would be one I'd love to have, that or an Asian arowana, which once again we're not allowed to keep because they're endangered.
Yeah.
But I will get an arowana of some kind at some point, and have them in an indoor pond. It's gonna be mad. I'll get there. You wait.
Yeah.
That, and I'd love a Komodo dragon.
Doesn't anybody who loves lizards?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there is any real pet that I feel like I want to get, because it's just too much time, effort for me. But if I would,
feel like you've had the ultimate pet, which is children.
Yeah.
Like you've leveled out on pets. You're like, yeah, okay, I'm done here.
Yeah.
I have a child.
Yeah, that's it. Like pets can become a part of the family, and the family is like big enough already that I don't really need to expand it anymore. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But if there is one pet that I probably could get again, it's probably a snake, because they don't really require that much effort.
Would you get another bearded dragon?
No, those are so labor intensive, dude. Like it's.
Oh really?
Yeah. Keeping a bearded dragon is just too much work. Like they need special diet, they need lighting and all that stuff. You know.
So just like fish, really.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Fish are also kind of labor intensive, I would say. So.
Yeah, well, you gotta make sure their water quality is good or they croak, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
So from pets into big anime robots. Pew pew pew. Yeah. Gunpla, dude. Like, when did you get first into Gunpla?
And how? So I think it sort of really started when I went over to my friend Marshall's place when I was 19, 18. We were drinking, and in the top of his cupboard he had a whole bunch of these like robot models on it. Fuck is that, man? He's like, oh, they're Gundam models. And him and Sarah showed them to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's really cool. Like, I did that, but I didn't really get it. I sort of just dropped it because I wasn't actively hobbying with stuff at the time. My hobby was getting drunk because I was a little shithead. But yeah, so fast forward quite a few years. Would have been 2018. My ex and I broke up, and I sort of was in this really bad headspace of like, not doing great because, everything's gone wild, and I needed a distraction. And I started Warhammer back up, but I just wasn't focused enough to paint. So I was like, you know what? I went to the hobby store and I bought a Gundam model.
Oh yeah.
And it was a Bawu, I think it was. They call them. They're the little orange ones, and. I spent the afternoon building it, and I found that I didn't feel shit for that afternoon that I was building it. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, while I'm dealing with this trauma and this sadness, if I just distract myself through this, eventually I'll get to a point where it doesn't hurt as much, and I've gotten through it.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, sweet. So I just started buying Gundam models, man. I just went hard at it, Quickly went from the HD straight to an MG. I think my next build was It was the Wing Gundam Endless Waltz edition with the angel wings.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the Strike Noir straight after that.
Mm. Yeah.
And, the Strike Noir is still one of my favorite models, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me it was I think Warhammer was a way of coping with bad shit in my life as well. So, but I did Gunpla before, and I had Gunpla even way longer before, like when the Wing series released in the Western world. They also released kits in
So like late 90s?
No, yeah,
Early
late
2000s?
90s, early 2000s. So that's when I got
That's wild.
my first Gundam models. I'll probably dig them out and take a picture of them because they're mangled as fuck. But when I actually did it for the hobbying sake of it, that's 4 or 5 years ago.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, is there a Gundam model that you would absolutely fucking love to get? Because we all know they can be quite pricey and they can get quite collectible too.
Yeah.
So.
Not really, because there's like usually I would buy something that I've seen the series of, and like there's I haven't seen that many of the series yet. But I would probably say like a unicorn model out of some sort.
Perfect grade?
Maybe.
I'd love to build a perfect grade, man.
Yeah, for real, but it's just too expensive, And
but that's the point of it. It's not about you're gonna buy it. It's what would you love to get.
Oh yeah, for real. If I'd be able to get it just because I got the money for it, I'll probably get a perfect grade with like the LED kit and everything, or the Exia. The Exia is really cool too. I haven't seen the series for it, but
the Exia Lightning mode is the one that Lightning mode is the one that I want. I've said it to you before. It's like a $900 kit.
Yeah.
But like, holy fuck. I have a girlfriend now, so I won't be getting that.
Yep.
Not that she tells me how to spend my money, but I can justify hobby funds, but that's a bit much for one model. She'd be like, really? And I think, to be honest, now I have the Golf, I'd be like, I could have spent that $900 on, modifications for the car.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's fair.
Priorities have changed, but I would love to get the perfect grade red frame Astray. It's like the really ninja looking one with the katanas.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of models I want to get. I'm still working on some at the moment too, actually. So,
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So moving on from Gundams, is there any, or is there anything more Gundam related you want to talk about?
No, I think I'm good for now.
Yeah. Cool. Is there any hobby that you would like to give a red hot crack soon? We've tried the model cars lately, so is there anything more that you would like to?
Okay, hear me out. Zoids.
I would still class them under Gunpla anyway.
No, it's a different thing, and we're doing that. I would love to do that. I want to get some Lego, because I haven't built Lego in a long time.
Yeah.
I want to get like, they have a Jurassic Park kit. Where it's like the T-Rex escape. I want to hit that up. I want to try RC cars soon.
Yeah.
Drift cars. There's a lot of shit I want to try. Yeah, I want to get to some reptile keeping eventually. Yeah. Yeah. What about you?
I think RC cars is definitely up there. I've already been like looking at some stuff. But, like, they're expensive, dude. Like,
they are expensive, but we should coordinate on that too.
Yeah, probably.
We'll see, like, if we're gonna get it, we could try and get it around a similar time so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about the shenanigans.
I think the main issue is that, like, if you get a kit, it doesn't come with, like, the remote and everything, so you have to buy the remote separately.
And the controller thing and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I found that as well. I'm like, what's this bullshit? Can't I just buy one and play with it?
Yeah. I want the complete kit.
Yeah.
Like, if I buy a kit, it's to have the complete kit, not to buy things
Yeah.
separately even more. So that's kind
I'm
of
very lucky. My local hobby store, the 2-story one at Stafford, they're two stories, and the whole upstairs is RC stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I think I'm just gonna walk in there one day and be like, right, this is what I want to fucking do. How do we do this without like
Breaking
busting my ass? You know, yeah, exactly. Like I want cool, but I want fun, and what's good for beginners? You know.
Mm. Yeah, I think RC cars is one, and the other one will probably be YouTube. But like the amount of time I've been having lately, it's just not gonna happen to scoop that on as well.
Well, I think that if we can get, if we can keep growing as a podcast and keep getting more supporters and stuff like that, and eventually the hobby fund from this allows us to buy the cameras and stuff, I would love to take this to YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, would love to. And then like I've actually thought about doing a fish vlogging channel when I get my fish room up and running.
Yeah.
So like, you know, nothing insane on the editing front. Probably just like me with a selfie stick talking to myself.
Yeah.
But just like going over what's happening in the fish room.
Yeah.
Because people find that really interesting. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. I think for me it would be a lot like how I've been doing things, stuff like that, because I get those questions a lot, like, oh, how do you do this and how do you do that, and do explain to me LEDs again. It's like, okay. So
yeah, I think that people look up to you a lot more than me for painting, though. You know,
yeah,
that's cool. So like, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think that actually you and I are that far apart in our painting skills.
No,
like you are the better painter, but we're not worlds apart.
No,
it's just you post really crazy shit a lot more often than me,
Mm.
and people are like, "Whoa," you know. Mine's just crazy creatively,
Yeah.
not so much like, "Oh, I tried this crazy technique of like purple and orange." But
yeah,
like when I put that dreadnought up in the heavy metal thing on Facebook, it got 500 likes. That was wild.
Yeah,
those people are professional painters, and they loved it.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to push myself a little bit more to do like more crazy things. Like,
but I think that people relate to your styles more. Mine are always very stylized. I'm like, yeah, cool. I love this, but no one's asking me. They're not like, gee, Blake, how did you do that thing? Because it's just solid fundamentals. Whereas you're like a bit more on that end, so you do get asked. So it makes sense for you to have a channel about that.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, for real. So that's one thing that I'd like to do, and honestly,
I would love that, man. I would definitely watch you on YouTube.
Yeah, and there's one thing that I would also love to incorporate into it is doing dioramas in a way, like have like a couple of Warhammer miniature with like a diorama around it, and do the whole process.
I think that I want to be more crafty in general.
Yeah.
Like, I want to make dioramas. I want to, you know, like I said, that guy was putting gunplas in fish tanks. I want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to very much do nerd forgy sort of shit. Like, you know, just make a diorama for this random household object because I can, and I have foam and those sorts of things. So I would love to get more on that page, you know, not necessarily doing a model, but like, oh, let's do this project.
Yeah.
You know, using the skills we have from Warhammer and Gunpla and all those great hobbies.
Yeah, for real. Like, I think for me it would be like, because I'm getting to a point where I want to do like, because I have a bunch of hero models, so I can just be like, oh, whatever, this isn't going to be in the part of any army at all, so I can just do something crazy with it instead. Like, yeah, just do that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of what I would love to try out.
What I would love to do, and I will do it one day, I want to do like an icy, like an outcrop like that with I want to do a model for Iskandar Kaon from Black Legion from the books, and have his wolf there with him, like on an icy planet, and I think that would be fucking cool. I had it all planned out. But I just think it would be really rad. Do like an icy outcrop with the wolf alongside him, and maybe the Dark Eldar chick as well.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, there's like a ton of ideas I got as well. It's just, you know, finding the time to actually do it. It's
yeah. Like your Bionicle Necrons, you're gonna start next week. I mean, what?
Ah!
Ah!
Oh, Lord.
Nah, cool, man.
Yeah, so relating, like, YouTube, you said putting the podcast on YouTube. What did you feel like when we started out first recording our episodes, like our very first episode?
It's funny, man, because when we started this, I've been planning and thinking about doing a podcast for so long.
Mm.
And, like, I was a little nervous about the technical side of it, like the recording and stuff like that, but I'm such a social fucking person that I talk to it like a duck to water. Like, even people that listened to the first episode, who were a bit skeptical, they were like, dude, it's like you were born to do that. Like, you are so good at that naturally. You know, and obviously, like, I'm a lot better at hosting now than I was back then, but I wasn't even nervous about it.
Yeah.
I guess because we had nothing really riding on it, it was just like, yeah, let's just do it. And if people like it, they like it. So I was a little nervous at first, before we put it live, but recording it, I was fine. Because to me, you're nervous when you first hover over that little red circle, but then once it starts, you're just hanging out with your friends.
Yeah.
And you sort of forget that you're even recording, so...
Yeah. And that's kind of what the feeling that we kind of wanted for the podcast as well. Like, having... Like, being in the voice text channel that we were always doing. Just putting that on a record and putting it out to the people, because the stuff that we would say in the voice text channel was fucking hilarious. So why not record it and put it out to the people, you know?
And it's funny because I've spoken to a few people, like one of my workmates, he listened to it and he's like, oh, I wanted more information on this thing. But you guys just kept bouncing around. And I sort of explained to them, I'm like, dude, we're not a Warhammer-centric podcast. We're not a lore podcast. We'll touch on things, but the idea is to have fun with the subject.
Yeah.
And to have the freedom to talk about whatever we want. That makes us passionate, and to improve people's attitude towards hobby.
Yeah, and do a little bit of your own research in the end. So
yeah, exactly. And like, yeah, he understood it once I explained it. But it's like, we're not your comprehensive go-to fucking people for how to paint a model or whatever. Like, we can help you if you ask us.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're not here to tell you every fine detail in one episode. Like, that's just not us. We're here to talk about it, have fun, maybe you'll learn a thing. Maybe you'll laugh a bit. Like, that's us.
Yeah.
And like you said, it was supposed to be the VC, but basically recorded. And I think we nailed that.
Yeah. I mean, just listening to our last episode, which was... Like, if you didn't know, we usually write notes for episodes, and for that episode, we had zero. We had nothing to stand on. So that episode was straight up pulled out of our ass of talking about stuff that we enjoy doing, So
the way it works is, I normally come up with the idea of whatever the fuck we're going to talk about it. Obi gives it the yay or the nay, and helps develop the idea. But what normally happens is I'm going about my life like, and Obi's like, hey bro, we're going to record right soon. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, you're right, let's do it. And then we make a time. I was on holidays and had no concept of what days were. And Obi was obviously busy doing stuff as well, because he didn't remind me for once. And then we were like, we're due to drop an episode. And we're like, oh fuck. What do we do? Alright, let's just do it, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm actually really proud of how that episode turned out. I thought it turned out quite well.
Yeah, I think that is probably one of our proudest moments on the podcast, to be honest. I mean, the whole thing that we had with Tacticus going on was really awesome, like growing super much, like having a lot of people listen to us and growing the Discord channel. But like being able to swing an episode for an hour and a half, that was like, wow, we're fucking awesome at this.
I think my proudest moment, two of them, was when I saw us on the front page of Tacticus, like our podcast. That was huge for me. But the other one, and it always hits closest to home, is when someone will post a picture in the Discord or they're on VC holding an instrument
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you did that episode and that made me go and dig my bass guitar out of the closet.
Yeah.
And I started playing it like Solitaire.
Mm.
He went and dug his bass out, and I'm like, I'm so proud
Yeah.
that we've reinvigorated potentially somebody's passion to play their instrument.
Mm.
Or, you know, they've ordered a Gunpla model because of our episode.
Yeah.
Or I think Norkri was saying he wanted model cars.
Mm.
That makes me proud every time I
Yeah.
see it,
Yeah,
because everyone that it's always, nah, don't do that, you're not good enough. Don't do that, you're not good enough. Fuck that, do it, give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll back you. We'll back you. I love that.
Yeah. We'll even guide you on the way.
That makes me happy and proud every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And if we don't know, we'll fuck up and learn at the same time with you, man. Like my car is in shambles, and I don't care because I'm learning.
Yeah.
You know, your car's in shambles too.
Yeah.
So Norkri, let's build this model car together and we'll fuck it up too. You know?
Yeah. No, there's been like a couple of times where people are like, oh, how do you do this? I'm like, hold on. I haven't really done it myself, but I could test it out just quickly on like a random model here. So I'll just quickly paint something up, like using the things that he specified. It's like, oh yeah, well, here's like a couple examples, and I just showed it on pictures and I explained the ways that I did it. So like, I'm always keen to learn more things myself and like experiment on things.
Yeah.
So it's just ask away, and if I don't know, I'll figure it out some way. So.
And if we can't figure it out, we'll put you in the direction of somebody who has figured it out, a YouTube channel, something like that. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're never the biggest fish in the pond, but we do rule the pond.
Fuck yeah.
Ah, sweet, man. So, what's your favourite episode so far of the show? The one that you had the most fun on, or whatever. I know it's hard, it's like choosing between children, but you got to.
Yeah, I think that's a really hard one to figure out. Fuck me. I think that for me it's like lightsabers, because I was so excited when we got into lightsabers, and like you bought a couple and you're doing customizing them, and then I bought my real one. It was just super awesome, and like I could do stuff with the kids. Like I'm hoping in the summertime when the grass is out again, then I'll probably go out again and start spinning and do some battles with the kids.
I would like to order another lightsaber to weather it up for myself, because those ones I did I gave away as gifts. And I'd love to actually do a follow-up episode on how to weather a lightsaber and what to do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think people would dig that.
Yeah, that's something
that's cool. And we had Shane on as a guest too, and that kid, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very blessed to have him as a little brother, but his energy levels are over 9,000, you know. He's a blast to have on the show, so.
Yeah.
It's always good. He's the only person we've ever had to censor. So hold that as a badge of honor.
Just blurting out his name over there. Might as well give your address and a social security number, right?
Right? Nah, I gotta love him though. Nah, that was fun. I think for me, my favourite was the Pets episode with Sam.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't really get to talk to Sam like in VC much. And, because he doesn't really hang out there, and that's fine. But, like, just getting to talk nerdy fish stuff on the internet, fucking amazing. And Sam is such a gentleman and such a cool dude to talk to.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I've been chatting so much in the past 2 weeks with him, too, about, like, model cars. It's like, oh, yeah, I kind of want to get some rims with my kid as well. It's like, oh, yeah, I got a site here. I'll look some up. Like, if you have any model that you'd like me to look up for you, it's like, yeah, but I don't really know the names.
And he offered me that as well. Bless his cotton socks, you know. Like, he's always on the lookout for rare Game Boys for me as well in Japan. I told him I really need that Hello Kitty one eventually, you know.
Yeah, it's cool. Sam, we love you, dude. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, dude.
Patreon.
Big ups, brother. You're a boy. And I think my other one would probably be the episode we did on narrative writing with Matt for D&D.
Yeah, the tabletop episode.
Yeah, even though like we sort of, I don't really tabletop game that way anymore, but having Matt on And that guy is always such a fucking blast. And he's been our biggest supporter from day one. I think he was our first patron.
Yeah.
And Matt's just a top quality human and friend of the show. And it was just an honor to have him on the show because, like, I was listening to his old podcast well before I started the podcast, well before I even joined Lawhammer. So, like, I've always looked up to Matt.
Yeah.
In that way. And, you know, yeah, it was really cool to be able to work with him in that capacity. And we'll have him on again sometime, but it was cool. Yeah. Always enjoy my time with Matt.
Yeah, for real. I think it's definitely it seems like there's a reoccurring theme here, like episodes with guests.
Yeah. And you know, when we're not so ramshackle with our schedule, I'd love to have a few more guests, but making time zones work for 3 people is unbelievably difficult.
Exactly. That's probably why we won't have like a US guests at all, because it will just that's like a third whole new timeline. So it's
well, I mean, it's hard to get in contact with those people, you know.
Yeah, it will be early morning for them, late night for you, and like middle of the day while I'm working. So
yeah, exactly. But I mean, we'll make it happen one day with some of them.
Yeah,
the cool ones.
Yeah, exactly.
We've been saying to Mitz, and we're gonna have him on forever, so we'll get there eventually.
Exactly. And there's like a certain Pokemon episode that I've had wanted to speak my mind about, and I know the perfect guest for that one as well. So
I'm trying to think who.
She's got a little kid growing in her belly.
Oh!
So we have to do it before the belly pops.
I like to think she has headphones for the stomach so she can the little one can listen to our podcast.
Yeah. I love that. That's cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Pralion's cool.
Cool.
Alright. As always, Thinly Veiled Hobby Podcast talks about music. This time, we actually have a new release to talk about, and I'm excited. I know Opie wasn't overly excited, but he never really is because he doesn't like mainstream metal. This week, we checked out the new album by the Gothenburg melodic death metal giants, In Flames. Yeah. And the album is called Forgone. Obi, how'd you find it, man?
There's a little history.
Besides hating them because they're Swedish. You never like Swedish bands.
Yeah, there's like a little history with In Flames too for me. Like something with ex-girlfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, never really got into them. Listened to their like the most popular songs, obviously, a little bit. Never really thought they were that big of a hit. And I think that's the same with this album for me. Like, I've always thought that they were a band that didn't really figure out yet what kind of genre they wanted to be. And listening to the first, not the first song, but State of Slow Decay was like a reinforcement of that, because those riffs straight out came from Amon Amarth. That's what I thought, at least. I haven't figured out which song it is, but it feels like it's...
I'll find it. You wait, I'll find it, man. Because I didn't notice it until you pointed it out, and I'm like, you know what? That does sound like a Monomath. That just initial couple of chords.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh. Yeah. And I think that's why it resonates so well with you, but not so well with me, because it feels like it's a lot of reused riffs from their previous albums. This is personal opinion. I don't know if it is like this, but reused stuff, not really anything memorable for me.
I think the thing is that In Flames, their greatness doesn't actually lie in their riffs. They have a style with their riffs, but everyone's copied them and done that for so long that it's now the standard melodic death metal riff. It's been used and used and used. Whether they originated it or wherever it came from is beside the point, but it doesn't sound distinctive. But I think that their greatest win is normally their vocal hooks.
Yeah.
Like, their melodies with the vocal melodies are always very distinctive.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the vocals are always really good, but personally just too, I don't know, a little bit too bland for my taste.
That's fair enough, man.
Yeah. So not really a high score for me. I don't even.
Oh.
Yeah, I would say like 4.5 to 5 for this one, which is gonna upset my girlfriend because she's like last week she was like, "Oh, did you know that In Flames has a new album?" And she was like, "Yeah, I've heard something about that." And then she was like, "Since the last time I listened to it, they had put out like so many other albums, so I'm like just gonna binge all of their albums right now." Okay, yeah, you can do that, but I'm not.
So my little In Flames story, I heard them quite a bit, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is okay," but I always hated the way the vocals were mixed. Anders is often too low. But I went to a show, VIP, to see Lamb of God. I was a huge Lamb of God fan at the time, and we were supposed to meet and greet with them, and they just walked past us. Dick move, whatever. I was like, whatever, man. I own every one of your albums on CD. This is my 5th time seeing you, and you can't even shake my hand and say g'day?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. So, we came out of the backstage, and we were in front of the barrier in the VIP section while they were playing. But we got to watch In Flames play, because they were supporting them. After the set, Anders comes down into the section to watch Lamb of God play.
Yeah.
And I got to hang out with him. There's a photograph of it.
That's awesome as fuck.
So I got to meet Anders from In Flames at the Lamb of God gig, and he was the nicest fucking guy. And after seeing them live and then realizing how cool he was as a dude, I was like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
You guys are great. You know, and like, and my involvement in the band, you know, comes and goes. Like, some of their stuff's really good, some of it's like, oh, okay, it's alright, you know. I'm not like the most diehard fan, but the new album, I really like. It does have an Amon Amarthy-ness to it, which I fucking love. If Amon Amarth isn't doing a good job of being Amon Amarth at the moment, at least In Flames is. I think it's a great album. The vocal hooks are there. There's some really good shit in there. I would probably give it a solid 7.5 to 8 goblins out of 10.
Yeah.
Good album. Especially for, like, a new one of the year. It's not easy to start the year off early with an album, you know?
No, exactly.
Everyone launches them towards the end. They did good, man.
Yeah.
They did good.
Yeah.
And shout out to Anders from In Flames. You're a fucking mad guy. If you want to come to the podcast, let us know.
I would say he lives in Sweden, but I'll probably never bump into him, so...
Well, I was hoping when I went to Gothenburg that one time that I would find them, but I did not.
Honestly, there is one band member that I've actually ran into that is the guitarist from Meshuggah. Because they originate from Umeå, and I've lived in that area for quite some while. Where also Squidmore Miniatures is from.
Didn't your missus go to school with one of the guitarists from Sabaton?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, tell her to get his number. Like, let's get him on the show.
I'm pretty sure he won't reply to her, but
yeah, worth a try.
We'll
send him feet pics on our behalf. He'll be in.
Oh, that's not gonna work.
No, our feet, not your girlfriend's.
Ah.
We're not whoring your girlfriend out. We'll whore ourselves out.
I don't think my Hobbit feet would really work that well, but, you know.
Me either, bro. I don't even have arches. How am I supposed to sell feet pics? Anyway. So that's our music thing for this week. Join us next week for an album that Obi's probably going to hate even more. You don't know what it is yet, but you're going to hate it. I don't even know if I'm going to like it, but let's find out.
We'll never know. We'll have to see.
No, we will. Next episode.
Yeah.
But
until then,
as it is our first birthday, I believe we have some news that we promised earlier.
Oh, yeah.
We told people to tune in later for.
Exactly.
Take it away, Obi. You're the details guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's our first year, so why not do our very first actual contest where we're like asking you to do something to receive something. So
yeah, this won't be as easy as just saying hello, give me a prize like the last one.
exactly. So we thought, how about you just count how many times we said first in this episode, including that first. Oh, and that first. Shit, it's an infinite loop, isn't it?
Oh, fuck. Oh, wait, no.
Nah, for
First, fuck.
yeah, for real. We thought that would be a real cool idea if people could make like fan art for the podcast. So something that we could use as a design for something like a t-shirt or a mug or whatever, if it would come to it.
So, we were talking about how to celebrate it. And Obi, of course, and I went instantly to, let's do a miniature painting contest. But I'm like, not everyone that listens to this paints miniatures.
Yeah.
And I want to see what else other people can do. Like, if you want to paint a miniature, go for gold. It has to be Knights of the Hobby Table themed, though.
Yeah.
But what we really want to see is what people can do when they have freedom with it. Can you paint? Are you? Do you draw? Do you make digital art? Do you make coffee cups? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, like...
Let's see you fucking do it,
a Dragon Ball Z style of us too. I mean, hell yeah. You want to do...
For the record, I can't win our competition, so y'all are lucky.
You want to do an alternate logo design for us? Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah, you want to do me and Obi fighting with paintbrushes in our hands?
Yeah.
Let's go. Like, whatever you want to do, if you want to make clay sculptures of us and take pictures, just something Knights of the Hobby Table themed.
Yeah.
We would love to see it as sort of a celebration of the podcast and this wonderful community that brings us all together.
Exactly. So it's open to anybody who can produce any kind of art, like 2D art, digital art, painting a miniature, hell, even just a regular painting. If you can make a 3D model of our Nightbook dude, whatever you can fucking think of.
If you got a cricket machine and you want to make fucking crazy designs on that and put them on stuff, go for gold,
It's gonna be good. Whatever you can think of. So...
go for it. I think it'd be rad.
What can you win, though?
Do we have prizes for this shit, or are we just encouraging people to...
Yeah, or...
what are we giving away?
No monetary prizes, but we'll do like three prizes at least. So the third prize will be just a sticker pack from the podcast, like our 3 stickers that we give to our Patreons as well. Those 3 designs made by Bowen will be going your way then for the third prize. You want it?
He's kind of a big deal, okay? He's a graphic designer.
Yeah, it's hard gonna be competing with him, so...
I'm just gonna say he's not allowed to enter either.
Yeah.
Because that's not really fair.
Fair enough. You want to take the second prize?
Yeah, for sure. Second prize will be a sticker pack plus some a sticker pack with some stickers like that, with a few others chucked in that Obi has later around, and a Lego Cadian. Obi has a couple of different loadouts for them.
Yeah.
So you can choose your weapons, but basically it's a little Lego minifigure, if I understand, like a minifig. It's a Cadian from Warhammer. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So Obi's willing to part ways with that as a prize for this contest.
Hell yeah. And then finally, the first prize will be another sticker pack and a painted miniature by me. It's already a painted miniature, so I'm not taking requests for it. But the miniature in question is a Terminator Captain painted as an Ultramarine. So it's one of those miniatures where I kind of pushed myself a little bit with doing a lot of highlights on the armor, and painting a face, for example, is also one of the first things I did, and trying out freehanding. So you can...
That was actually a competition piece for you, wasn't it? You entered a little competition in the old Discord we're in.
Yeah.
With that.
Exactly.
So it's pretty cool. It's a nice model.
Yeah, it's it'll be good.
But if you're a fan, why wouldn't you want a hand-painted miniature from Obi up on your shelf?
Exactly. And I'll send it out to you. anywhere in the world. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. And let us know if you want Obi to lick it before he sends it too. Like, that can be done if you do that.
Yeah, and League Lad, if you want like a bit of hair, I can sacrifice like a little bit of a dreadlock somewhere.
Yeah. If you win, Lee, challenges, microphone drop, challenges down, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, get creative, have fun with it, guys. You know, look at our logo. We have pretty set, distinctive colours.
Yep.
So, you know, go for gold. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, really excited to see what can come up from this.
And if no one enters, Obi's going to send me the Ultramarine. And we're just going to, I don't know, not do competitions anymore.
Melt it down or something. I don't know. What do you do with Ultramarines?
Exactly. I'll use him as basing material.
Perfect. Good. The only way to use an Ultramarine.
That's right. The right way, face down.
Face down, ass up. That's the way we like to make this podcast.
Oh! That's right.
Alright, so the cutoff period for this is like 2 months, so you got like a lot of time. We'll set a definite date somewhere in April. There will be a channel made for it, so
yeah,
put it in there.
Well, we're pretty indecisive, so I'll tell you what will actually happen is it'll be going for quite a while, and then Obi and I'll be like, oh fuck, we should play in that contest soon. Yeah, let's put this date.
Yeah.
So we'll get there.
Yeah.
Very ramshackle about our dates and such.
Exactly.
But yeah, I want to see what you guys can do. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited.
I know there's a couple of people who are real creative with their stuff and can do a lot of different things besides just Warhammer.
Yeah,
so.
fucking oath, man. Fucking oath. Awesome. So, and besides that, you know, all this lovely competition is going to be unfolding on our Discord. So come join us on our Discord. Hang out, talk some shit. If our large collection of Americans currently gets too much, join another chat where it's a bit quieter, and you can paint models and hang out.
Yeah.
I love all you guys, but, you know, a lot of people shouting about the same video game gets very loud. No hate. But,
hell,
you know.
even 3 different games at the same time, so...
Oh, it's crazy. But, it is crazy, but there's also quiet places, so if you just want to come and chill, we have that too. Whatever you're into, we got it. Let's roll with it.
Yep.
So come join our Discord, and if you get a little bit of entertainment from this, flick us a fucking coin, man. You know, toss a coin to your patron, the podcasters, because you know, without ongoing support, things like this don't happen. We want to grow the podcast and keep getting bigger, but it's not doable without support. So, to our patrons who already have, thank you. And to all of our future ones, get on it!
Yeah. Yeah, like we really want to do some video content, so that's a way to help us get there. Join the Patreon.
I assure you, I'm much funnier when you can see my face for the whole episode. I make all sorts of dumb expressions, don't I?
And when you accidentally stand up and reveal a ball, whoa, what's that?
Whoa, that's only happened twice, okay?
But then it will be for the rest of the world.
That's right. We'll just get like a ball-shaped blur.
Yeah. I can make like a cartoon ball sack or something.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for listening, guys, as always. And hopefully he's listening for the next year.
Yeah, exactly.
So until next time, crank that amp.
Slay that gray.
We are the Knights of the Hobby Table.
Bye.
See you later, guys.